February 6th, 2026. A strong cold frontal boundary and broad upper-level troughing will dominate today's operational weather, bringing widespread gusty winds, low ceilings and visibilities associated with frontal clippers across the northern U.S., and rough seas/gale conditions off the southeast and mid-Atlantic coasts. Attention is required from the upper Midwest into the Northeast for snow, cold advection, and boundary layer wind shear, and along the Atlantic and Gulf coastal waters for marine gales and turbulent low-level flow. Upstream ridging over the southern plains will keep much of the central and southern continental U.S. dry and VFR, but the intensity of the cold air advection behind the front will quickly erode ceilings and drop temperatures as the day progresses. Pacific moisture remains largely suppressed west of the Rockies, with mid-level dry slots and weak systems that will produce primarily high clouds and localized winds, whereas eastern domains will see the most dynamic changes. In the Northeast and mid-Atlantic, a reinforcing Arctic blast behind the departing clipper will maintain sub-VFR ceilings and gusty northwesterly winds through terminals like BOS, PHL, and NYC, with falling temperatures driving increased icing risk in residual stratiform precipitation bands and significant wind chill concerns at surface sites. Snow squalls remain possible in favorable mesoscale bands ahead of surface troughs. Wind shear and turbulence through the boundary layer will be the primary hazards, with pockets of blowing snow reducing visibility on arrival and departure corridors. Further south along the Atlantic seaboard, strong cold advection will tighten isobaric pressure gradients and sustain fresh to gale-force winds just offshore. Expect rough sea state and significant low-level turbulence on transits to or from coastal gateways. The southeast and Gulf Coast will be influenced by the trailing segment of the Atlantic frontal system, with brisk westerly winds aloft. Dry to marginal moisture profiles and generally VFR ceilings, but intermittent low stratus and reduced visibilities near coastal or nocturnal dew. Point surges can occur at JAX, MIA, and TBW. Offshore marine gale conditions persist north of 26 to 27 degrees north, with 12 to 16-foot seas that will impact approach paths at eastern coastal cities. Across the central and plain states, an upper ridge will keep skies predominantly clear with light winds and VFR conditions at hubs such as DFW, ORD, and STL. Cold advection beneath the ridge axis will gradually stabilize the boundary layer, reducing convective turbulence but enhancing mechanical turbulence in the afternoon as surface winds mix behind the approaching Clipper's trough. In the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, the fast-moving Clipper will introduce a narrow band of light snow and mixed precipitation. VFR en route should degrade to IFR/MVFR as low stratus and snow showers fill in, particularly near MSP and DTW, with wind gusts enhancing crosswind components on final approaches. Western and northwest regions will stay in a more tranquil pattern under mid-level ridging and zonal flow, with high clouds ahead of weak Pacific impulses but little organized precipitation. Mountain wave activity and localized lee troughing could produce moderate turbulence and stronger winds at altitude into C, SLC, and BOI. There are no widespread excessive rainfall threats today, but winter weather impacts remain concentrated north of a line from the Dakotas through the Great Lakes into New England, with snow-induced visibility reductions and gusty post-frontal winds that will challenge ground handling and short-haul operations. Coastal hubs from Norfolk to New York should prepare for enhanced low-level wind shear and marine influences on approaches, while interior southern hubs enjoy benign VFR conditions, but brisk crosswinds developing later in the day as pressure gradients increase behind the frontal passage.